You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey all, welcome back to Cards to the Moon. This is episode 168, and my name is Clark from 5 Card Guys on Instagram and 5cardguys.com. With me, as usual, is Hyung of Integrity Sports Cards and John, who is Trade You at Recess. Okay, off the top today, it's almost Halloween, just a week or two left, and just in time with the release is 2023 Topps update of their Halloween-themed parallels. Some of the more rare ones of hot rookies are going for a few $100s already on eBay. And the Halloween parallels, if you haven't seen them yet, it includes cards with bats, ghosts, pumpkins, and orange and black lines on foil stock in the background. Just wondering, what do you guys think of them? Do you think it's cool or just another gimmick?
Those are just retail, right? In blasters, I think, right?
Or are they? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe they're just available in blasters, which I don't mind because retail's a cheaper rip. Obviously, right. You know, as a truer hobbyist, you're kind of like I don't like this at all. But I don't mind it because you know it is I guess pretty cultural for the Americans and Canadians to love Halloween for some reason. But I mean,
you're not a fan of Halloween?
I'm not I wouldn't say I celebrate Halloween or anything by any means. So the pumpkin parallel or the jack-o'-lantern parallel is not going to entice me to buy blasters, but I'm not going to hate on it because I know there's a lot of people that like, that kind of stuff. And, to kids, I think it's a great product, right? They're going to rip more retail because, $30 blasters versus, $200, $300 hobby boxes, right? So.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I didn't even know this was a thing. So I just quickly looked it up and I saw some of the images. It looks pretty good. And, first of all, I hope that pricing for boxes and stuff starts coming back down to sort of pre-COVID era because the pricing is still a little ridiculous if we're being honest.
For blasters?
Just in general, Canadian prices, what's a blaster? Like
$40.
$40, $50.
Canadian.
Almost $50 with tax. That's crazy. Like pre-COVID, or during the COVID times, it was like $26 plus tax or $22 plus tax. It was very easily attainable. Not for us, but I mean it's a great thing for kids, right? Like kids,
sure.
Especially for us parents, if we walked into Toys R Us or we walked into Walmart or Target for Americans, and your kid asks you for a blaster and it costs $19, you'd be like, yeah, all right, let's pick one up. Let's have some fun, right? Whereas the blaster is like $40. It's like, nah,
it's tough.
Let's wait for your birthday. You're going to have to wait for his birthday so that he can rip open like 4 packs of cards. It's kind of ridiculous. So first of all, I just went on a little rant there. Sorry, guys. I hope the pricing comes down.
It's personal.
Yeah, seriously. And then for kids, I mean, like, especially the update product, it's not as heralded and hyped up. And I think this is a fun way to kind of take advantage of the season. And, I don't think update is normally supposed to release in October, right? So this could be, who knows if these parallels are sort of like a one-time thing. So that could be a fun little chase or underrated chase to kind of
there you go.
Set to go after for kids and maybe even for adults. So.
Yeah, good point. I brought this up because, well, first, something you said about the price of blasters. It's funny because I think last week or a week and a half ago, I put 1 minute rip video on my Instagram and YouTube channels on 5 Card Guys. And then I put like what price I started off at, right? And I put $40 because, like it's in Canada. But then, you know how many comments I got? It's like, why are you paying $40 for Allen and Ginter blaster box? Every one of them Americans. You got ripped off. Yeah, exactly. And then like, oh, I'm like, and then every comment I'm like, it's Canadian, so it's about $30 American, all right?
Yeah.
So next time I'm just gonna convert everything to US because I know a lot of our listeners, anyone that watches us are from the States. Yeah. So
you're not gonna win, man. Next time Canadians are gonna message you, yo, Clark, where did you get blasters for $17?
Yeah. But there's more Americans out there, so I'll just play the numbers game there. And yeah, like when I saw I think I saw a tweet out about these Halloween themed parallels. I was kind of surprised. Like people are really into them. Like people are into Halloween, man. Kind of what you're talking about, Young. Like there are people like, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's kind of like a Christmas thing too. You know what I mean? Like I don't see it. But people love Halloween. So they're like, this is, yeah. So I was kind of, surprised by that. But so I looked into it, and there's one parallel. It's really just orange and black lines. It's not even like a ghost or, like just an orange black line. And with the Baltimore Orioles, like pure color match. It's beautiful. So if I'm going to get one of those, it's that. Gunnar Henderson, one of those orange black line Halloween.
Is it numbered? What's the parallel called?
I don't even know what it's called because it's not even like a pattern. It's just a line pattern. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so. I seen a couple of the images of the parallels, and I don't know, like, I can't completely commit to it.
They need to come out with like an SSSP, like Otani with like a Pikachu costume on or something.
Don't give them ideas, all right? Because they're gonna actually do it. Yeah. Are they numbered? I don't think they're numbered. Yeah, none of these are. But anyway, it's I agree with you though. It's fun for the kids especially, and especially for Topps Update. It's a good place to put these kind of inserts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to hobby headlines. So I know generally speaking, the hobby is, making a major correction with card values coming back down to earth since 2020. But today I wanted to go over some recent sales of higher end cards that have sold for thousands of dollars. So there are some still spending big bucks for sports cards. And then I want to discuss whether we think it was a good buy in this bear market or not. Okay, so I have a list of 5 cards, and then we'll go through each one. First one, our boy Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, his 2018-19 National Treasures rookie patch auto, numbered to 99. It's ungraded. A raw one sold today, actually, earlier today, as of this recording, for $5,800. What do you guys think? For Shai National Treasures RPA, numbered to 99.
I think that's a little expensive, to be honest, based on, it being ungraded. And I know they're a tough grade and numbered to 99. But it's tough because those, what those cards can potentially do. And, you just never know with SGA. He's on a trajectory of, becoming a superstar in the NBA. So I still think it's a little high based on, its rarity. It is numbered to 99, but it's, at the end of the day, that's not that rare for me to justify that spend, at least. But it is National Treasures, so it's a premium brand. It's the card you definitely want. So I think there's opportunity, but there's also a lot of risk.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it feels easy for us to kind of knock on the purchase because, our wheelhouse isn't buying $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 cards. But for somebody that's in that wheelhouse spending $100,000 or $50,000 on Luka, to spend $5,800 on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I don't think it's that bad. And mind you, I think SGA's prices received a bit of a bump because of his performance for Team Canada at FIBA World Championships and stuff like that. So,
yep.
But long term, I'm a little concerned. As much as we love Shea and we all want Shea for a PC, et cetera, et cetera, he could go down as one of those underrated superstars for the rest of his career. Like, I don't know if he will ever be regarded. Let's say he even this year he wins MVP, you know, and then you know, like OKC goes deep in like mid playoffs and they win a series and the hype is there. I think the odds for people believing this guy is a top 5 NBA staple or a top 10 NBA staple, it's going to be a little bit difficult. And, you know, I'm the first to admit. So that's my only caution with spending bigger money on somebody like Shai Gilgeous. I think it could be a good play because right now, because he is underrated, and let's say he does get into the top 10 stratosphere and he's not underrated anymore, and people are really going after him, and he's dropping 35 a night and just showing up on all the highlight reels, it could be a little bit of a sneaky play, but odds are he could end up being one of these superstars that just always end up being underrated. So tread with caution.
Yeah, you know what? I would say, though, that the secret is getting out there that Shea is a superstar, right? Like,
Correct.
If you look at rankings right now, he's top 10 on almost all of the rankings on, you know, from basketball writers. But with that said, I think with these higher end cards, like the National Treasures RPA, like if you look at the past price actions, it is at the highest it has been in the last 2 years. So It's not even at a dip, you know? And so I think you're buying high right now, to tell you the truth. But I think what you said, John, of like there might be opportunities for like you know, maybe a contenders auto, right? I think you know, number to 999. I think there's opportunities where it seems cheap right now, but at the high end, National Treasures, even flawless. I don't think you're getting a deal right now. People are like beginning to invest in Shea at that level already. So So as much as we like him, like I still want to buy him, especially as a Canadian basketball fan. You know, even if he is underrated throughout his whole career, which I think is a definite possibility. Like you said, I would still like it for my PC. So there you go. Okay, next card. I'm going to show it on our screen so you'll be able to see it. But for our listeners, it's the 2023 Topps Now Victor Wembanyama Blue Auto. It's numbered to 49. And it is not graded either, but it's it seems like it's already encased by the Topps Now slab. Autographed, if I didn't
on card.
That. Yeah, on card.
Yes.
Is it on card?
I believe
sticker. Looks like a sticker.
Looks like a sticker.
Oh.
Actually, I can't tell. It might be on card.
Does Wemby have any on card autos?
He has the Bowman Chrome U and the Bowman's Best, Bowman Inception. Or one of them might be sticker autos, stickers? Actually. The Bowman Chrome U, I think, is on card.
Okay.
Is it?
His U looks like it's not stickered, but some are in that checklist. Yeah, even the first ever card signed, you know, that green parallel?
Yeah.
That looks sticker, like it's... Right? I know it's not a sticker, I don't think.
Oh, it's not a sticker. Oh, okay.
That's on card. Yeah. Anyway, what do you guys think of this
back
Topps
to
Now?
Yeah, what did it sell for, sorry?
$2,500.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's pretty expensive for a Topps Now card.
Oh, thank you.
Number to 49?
Number to 49, but you have Bowman U, you have Bowman, you know, Inception, you have Bowman's Best, you know, and then I still like the card because it's from draft night. It's a pretty cool card, I think, just in general, but
yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, we talked about Wemby in the last episode. It's like, what if he goes 20-10-5 this year? Pretty good season for a 19-year-old, but I mean, I think people would be like, oh, like that's not going to keep those prices, you know, going, right? So realistically, I think everything's just so hyped right now for a good, very good player. You know, I think there's a lot more opportunity elsewhere. So I still think that this is a little overvalued, but it is a cool card. It's definitely something that I wouldn't mind to have.
Okay.
Oh, Hyung is so nice. This is a lot overvalued. You're basically halfway to like a SGA Grail card in the National Treasures. That's ridiculous. Yeah. No, thank you.
Oh, this is what I think. What I was mentioning in the previous episode. I was saying that what I meant to say was I don't think National Treasures has his auto in. There's no Wemby auto
in National Treasures.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's for National Treasures.
I think that changes stuff a lot too, in terms of what you deem as a good auto for Wemby. What's his auto now?
Right.
That Bowman Chrome U kind of becomes more valuable, or stuff like this. Maybe. Just throwing it out there.
Right. I'm still not convinced Top Snell is going to be anything. So, that's a like easy pass for me.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Top Snow either. Yeah, it's an okay card. I guess I'm more of a traditionalist and more of a baseball collector. So when I see blue, I don't think number to 49. So that kind of seems a little random to me as well. So, right. And it's by Topps. Like I don't know. There needs to be consistency. So at 2,500, and with more Wemby cards coming out, over the course of the year, I could see this coming down for sure. So, all right. Next one is, speaking of Topps and baseball, the 2018 Topps Update Ronald Acuna Jr. white jersey photo variation, the card we love, BGS 9.5. Looks like it's a min gem that sold for $3,085. Yeah.
I would personally value this card, the PSA 10 right now, probably like $5,000. I would probably value that. So I would say it's a little high. I would say $4,000 to $5,000, the PSA 10. That's a realistic price for that card. So I think a BGS 9.5 at $3,000, I think it's a little strong, because they sell as good as PSA 10s, right? So I think it's at $5,000, right? So yeah,
for
like
PSA 10. Yeah,
for a PSA 10. So I think $3,000 is still a little high. It had a 9 subgrade on that one.
Yeah, it's a min gem for the centering gem, right? Is a 9.
Yeah, so at a min gem, it's like that's potentially a PSA 9. So like I'd rather get a PSA 10 and spend a little bit more than the BGS 9.5 min gem, or get a better graded, pay a little more for a better graded subgrades for BGS.
Okay, good points.
Yeah, it's a pass for me. If you own this card, I think you should. I mean, if you own any Acuna card, I think it's a quick sell for me. Acuna, we talked about this. Acuna just had a historic season. So the odds of him repeating or being better than this season next year is very low. And the odds of him getting injured, there's still that injury possibility, right? So I think that you take advantage of this bubble. I think if you look at over the course of Acuna's pricing in the next 5 years, this is going to be one of those peaks, and then there's more valleys to come. So if you have any Acuna cards, this one included, for me, selling it.
I really wanted to bring this up because I think this is where the subgrades do matter. And it being a min gem, I thought that was a good point. And at $3,000, yeah, it seems a little bit steep. If it was true gem, I'd be tempted. Yes. To tell you the truth. But yeah, as a min gem, I think it matters in this case. So it's a beautiful card, obviously. But for the price, I could see it coming down, especially during the off season if it comes up again for sale. All right, 2 more. These are the big boys. I wanted to choose an iconic one. It's the 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan PSA 9, and it's sold earlier today for $17,500. PSA 9 of the iconic Michael Jordan.
I'm going to have to card ladder this one. I just want to take a look here.
It once sold at the peak, if you look on card ladder, for almost $80,000.
My goodness.
What was it selling last year? Like 25?
Last year.
20?
Yeah, about 18. It's kind of been sideways. 16, 17.
So it's come up. It's actually come up a little bit.
13 in November.
What's the pop count?
2950.
There you go. 2950. Yeah.
Yeah, 2950.
Wow. I don't know what to say.
You know what? If you zoom out, I think in general, I think over let's just say a 5 or 10 year trend, I guarantee you it's going to look pretty like it's not a bad buy at a dip period. So I think this is sitting sideways for a while, and it's either going to go up or down at that point. So this is the peak at 80K. So yeah, you see so much resistance. You know, it basically crashed from the last 2 years, right after that 80K sale, right, and then it's just a typical bullish trend, long-term bullish trend, like slow growth, right? So I don't think you're at a bad entry point here. I mean, I would be trying to maybe shop at that, seeing if you could get a good deal. Maybe if you could get it for like 14 or 13, which you probably can't unless it's like a private sale or you do a trade that you're a little more profitable and someone wants to cash out on that. You know, I think it's not a bad move in that sense if you're able to trade a card and maybe pay half cash and half card or something. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily bad because PSA 9 of that iconic card, at the end of the day, it's a pretty big card. It's someone that I think everybody would love to have as an investment piece, you know, if you're not getting the PSA 10 Jordan, right? So I think it still has legs in the long term, but who knows when that's going to happen though.
Right. I'm kind of tempted to say that it's a decent buy, but you know what? I'm going to start thinking about because MJ, especially Fleer, is like one of the staples, right? Like this card is going to follow the pattern of what's happening in in the entire sports card market, right? This is one of those pillar cards, and I'm thinking the way the economy is going all over the world, I feel like there's a lot more. I think we were all hoping for a rebound pretty soon, but I feel like there's a lot more pain coming, like next 12 to 18 months. I feel like a lot of people are going to tighten their wallets, and things like hobbies and outside expenditures, especially like investments, are going to start to go to the wayside because money has to go to family and feeding mouths and stuff like that, and mortgages. So thinking outside of the hobby, I think there's a lot more to come down. So even at 17.8, it's like Hyung said, it's not a bad entry point. But in the next 12 to 18 months, I could see cards in general, like there's a wide, outside of, select cards of players playing really well. I could see the entire industry kind of dropping by 10, 15, 20, 30% possibly. So I'm going to say pass. And I feel like you could maybe get this card later for, I don't know. Dare I say like under 15, like 13, 14, 15. I think there might be some chances. So,
okay,
I will say pass.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to go down further. I feel like it's going to sit sideways even for the next year or two. Sure. Even with the economic pain that we could definitely expect. So, what's the point? if it's like, if it's not going to go up or, if it's not going to go down, which I don't expect it to, I'm just going to, unless you really want a PSA 9 for your collection, right? Like at the end of the day, 3,000 pop count's still kind of high, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not into it, but it is obviously it's an iconic card. Okay, last one. I know we don't talk about football cards much, but I chose this one for a reason, and I want to get your thoughts. Here we go. The Brock Purdy 2022 Flawless Emerald, and you can check out the NFL laundry tag, which is sweet. It's autographed on card, and it's numbered to 5, and it's sold on October 17 for $18,850.
Man, yikes! This one's tough for me. I couldn't justify this buy at all.
And it's ungraded, I should say.
Yeah, it's a pass for me. I don't like young quarterbacks at the end of the day. Like we said, we talk about this a lot. And that's the problem too with the Flawless and NT brand. They have so much hype around the brand, which rightfully so. It's kind of like the grail of, football and basketball cards, right? So, I just think there's way better opportunities on different sets, I'd say, other than Flawless and NT. I think you're always going to pay a premium for that. It's like the first to go up, the first to go down at the end of the day, right? So, yeah, I'm going to pass. 18.5K is a hefty price tag. I'd rather honestly buy a Corbin Carroll Superfractor, Topps Chrome Superfractor. Somebody selling for 15.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
He wasn't a high draft pick, right? Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy was, I believe, known to be the last draft pick of the year he was drafted in.
Wow. Jeez. Okay. Well, if you held a Brock Purdy card and you took advantage of his hot start, I think didn't he have a bad game last week? I didn't.
Yeah, bad game last week.
Yeah, like I would honestly, for me, just because the pedigree is not there, and not to say he can't become a great, like, come on, look at the greatest of all time, Tom Brady. The guy, he wasn't a first overall pick. He was, what was he, a third round pick or a fifth round pick? Yeah. So it's not like it can't happen, but the odds are, this might have been just a hot start. And that's what it is. And he might end up being a Mac Jones, fairly average quarterback, or maybe he's above average. But, that's a lot of money, man. $18,000, $19,000, especially if you're on the football side with that kind of money. And I get it. If you're the type of, like, somebody buying this card is somebody that's buying hundreds of thousands of dollars of cards, right? So he's that kind of person with 20 grand is probably taking a stab at this. But if 20,000 isn't your wheelhouse, I'm taking that money and I'm putting it into like Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady or something like that. Way more safe than Brock Purdy. I'm not playing that game with Brock Purdy. So right. I think if you held on to this card before, like the person who sold this card at 18,000, good for you. Like that person did well. So if you have Brock Purdy, you bought early, take advantage right now. I would personally take advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all aligned. I don't get the Brock Purdy hype. At the same time, obviously I've been wrong many times about football. So Brock Purdy could be amazing by the end of the year. And, he plays for an amazing team, right? The 49ers. Right. And right. He has so many weapons. I feel like that's partially why the team has great success. It's, for a lot of other teams, it's really the strength of the QB. But the Niners, they're like a legit team that, I can't even think of, who's the running back again? Christian
McCaffrey?
Christian McCaffrey on the team, Debo. And yeah, it's just, so, and I want to bring this up because there is a lot of hype on Brock Purdy. There's a lot of high-end sales happening. So I just want to kind of say proceed with caution with Brock. And we've seen it with young quarterbacks too. Just have this extreme hype and then they fall just as hard too. So you got to be careful for sure.
Right. I feel like the football market has been dying for a young quarterback, especially this post-COVID era, like dying for the young quarterback to be hot. Because we haven't really, we haven't really got that, like Trevor Lawrence, like all these high expectations from so many quarterbacks, and it takes.
Well, Josh Allen was massive, I think, a couple years ago.
Jalen Hurts, but it had to take a couple of years to kind of get the ball rolling, right? So I think Brock Purdy, the chase, the rip was fresh, and then he just started flying almost right away, right? The timing, the hype, and the chase, and everything. The timing was just perfect for the card to explode. So I feel like that's a little bit of it's got a little bit of a part in the hype.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right. Well, I just wanted to kind of also point out that the bigger point here was that people are still buying high-end cards in this market. So, I think for the most part, we don't think they're crazy deals, the ones I picked out anyways, but maybe I should try to find one where I do think they're good deals in this market for a future hobby headline segment, just to kind of counteract this point. All right, let's move on to our next segment. We're calling Would You Rather? It's been a while since we did this segment, and it's really just I thought of like two scenarios or two cards, kind of a glorified pick one that we'll do after this segment. But yeah, like just you'll see what I mean. It's a little bit more creative, and you choose which one you would rather have or which one would you rather do. Okay, so the first one, would you rather have a single on-card autograph, so just one on-card autograph card of, let's say, J-Rod, a stud, or a dual autograph card of J-Rod and Ronald Acuna, but the autographs are on stickers?
On-card auto.
On-card auto, for sure.
I'd rather on-card auto.
Just J-Rod.
Just J-Rod.
100%.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could get
J-Rod
Acuna
and
auto
Acuna.
separately. I could get Acuna separately. I think the on-card auto is way better. And it's like, I don't love dual autos, especially sticker autos. Because it's manufactured, right? Like, it's not like they're both in the same room signing it. It's Topps just like, or just that, okay, we got both autos. Let's stick them on the sticker book and, let's give them out. That's about it.
I like dual autos. I think they're underrated, but I think
sticker dual autos.
Sticker is trash, and you're gonna give me double the trash? No, thank you.
So I already know the answer for what John's gonna say for this modification, but I want to hear from Hyung. Triple sticker auto card. Okay, J-Rod, Acuna, and Soto.
Juan Soto, eh? Sticker autos or a J-Rod?
Yeah.
Damn, that is tough.
It's triple the trash for John, but
it's
I want to hear
you know what's the worst though? It's when you have the Tatis, Guerrero, and the Keston. You know what I mean? The third auto is like or Jose Urias, I think was a big chase that year. So you had like Tatis, like.
But listen, in this scenario, they're studs. You're pretty confident with those three. Yeah.
Triple, man, I think I'm still going on card auto, to be honest. I don't see the allure in the triple autos or multiple autos that are stickered. Like and for me, that means like it's not going to be a rookie card or anything like that. So for me, I'd rather have that rookie auto that's on card auto. That's that holds value, that's consistent, and is liquid in the market as well. So I think the other one's a little too niche for me, and I guess my style of habits, unless it's like the card is actually beautiful and I love the card itself. But most triple autos are just little headshots of them and somebody sticking them on beside their headshots, right? So there's no creativity in that. So yeah, I'm gonna still stay with the on card auto.
Yeah,
I might go ahead, John.
I was just gonna say, I think I should be clear in that I think Hyung and I don't know about you, Clark, but we're speaking from a collector standpoint, because obviously if the J-Rod is $100 and the triple sticker auto is $1,000, it's a pretty easy decision, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, strictly from a collector standpoint,
good point.
The triple auto really means nothing to me. Like, They all wrote on a 3M sticker at some point, and then they had no idea that those stickers are going to go on a certain card, and it has zero sentimental value.
I'm likely to agree with you guys for the most part, but I'm remembering the triple sticker auto of Mike Trout, Shohei, and Pujols. That's kind of sweet.
Right. That's
I guess it depends on the three.
Yes, that's
true. Yeah. That's
I should have said that. But anyway, we could be on this point forever. Different modifications. Until I get you guys to say
I'll say auto. There's a couple cards like the Ohtani and Acuna has a Topps Now auto, right? So I think that stuff like that becomes very valuable but I just don't think I think those cards are valuable for a reason. It's not because it's because the scarcity of it. So Ohtani in his rookie year with Acuna in his rookie year, that would make things a little different. But I think second year, third year player, might not be the allure because of the scarcity of Ohtani's auto, for instance. Super scarce in that year. And there's no dual auto with Acuna, who was the other superstar in 2018, right? So Yeah, and I think a lot has to do with the dependent of what type of card it is at the end of the day, right? But in general speaking, I would stay with that.
What about a triple IP auto?
Yeah, like the Mantle Griffey card, amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
So amazing. Like, the upper deck where people get it signed, and like I would be down for cards like that 100%. Like, I think those are cool. They're in person, auto. They actually sign the card with multiple people holding it. So if you had like Ohtani holding that card and signing it, and then Acuna holding that card and signing it, and then Soto holding that card and signing it, it's like, man, I got a piece of history. Like, that thing is not for sale, really, right? It's the same thing as that Mike Trout and Ohtani Tops Now. You know? Like, that's just a cool card. Yeah, it's such a cool card, right?
True.
Wait, the Mantle Griffey auto they're all IP?
I believe so, because there's
really?
cards that aren't signed. There's cards that only have Griffey.
I thought those autographs
signed.
You can get pulled. I thought you can pull those in packs.
They might have had a buyback, but I don't know. Like, I've seen Griffey cards, or the cards where Griffey just has his signature on it, right? Where there's one person only, right?
Wow.
So
my mind is about to be blown if that's
fact check
true.
that later, but yeah, I love that
I'll
card.
do a video on it. Yeah. It's a sweet iconic card for sure. All right. Okay, let's go on to the second one. The triplicate superfractor of, let's say, Ethan Salas, 2023 Bowman Chrome. Someone pulled the third superfractor, okay? Or would you have the duplicate? There's only two superfractors of, I chose the next guy, Felnin Celestin. I'm probably butchering his name. But he's
Mariners?
Like Mariners shortstop, right?
Yeah.
Assuming there's no bounty?
Assuming there's no bounty. Yeah, sure. I guess the question is really about rarity at this point.
Right.
Of two studs.
Right. So the lesser stud, but there's only two of them, or the stud of all studs, but there's three of them.
Stud number one with three superfractors versus stud number two with two superfractors.
Right.
Well,
listen, there's going to be listeners like, what? Why are they talking about this?
we talked about this last week. And DC actually messaged me. He goes, yeah, I would totally take the Salas superfractor and then sell it and buy the Doncic.
Yeah. How about this one?
If the bounty's in play, what's the bounty for both? Do you know?
No, the bounty's not in play because I would make it. The
bounty's not in play. Okay.
No, you know what? Actually, the bounty, I feel like they're both 75K.
They're both 75K. Okay.
So let's say the bounty's the same.
Yeah, you can't make the bounty in play because bounty just means you're gonna go for the bounty. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, give me any of them. I'm taking 75K.
Yeah, I'm gonna take any of them for 75K. I don't care if it's Salas or
fine. No bounty, but that's let's say that's the value. You know, like
75K. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think I might go Ethan Salas. I think there's so much hype around him that I would still go Ethan Salas. I just think it's a bigger card. A lot of guys know Ethan Salas. He's hyped, so I would go Ethan Salas, even though there's it's out of 3. Right.
Right.
Yeah, I think overall, I would go for the Ethan Salas too, because I'm trying to think of it from a different perspective. Let's say the choice was like Ohtani, like a Grail superfractor Ohtani, and there's 3 of them, versus like an Acuna superfractor, and there's 2 of those mistakenly, right? Like, I think I would pick the Ohtani, so I'm going to go with the better player and the third superfractor.
Okay. I mean, if I had to choose between these 2 specific guys, I might go for the duplicate superfractor of the shortstop. Like, Ethan Salas. Yeah, he's a stud.
Forgot about the catcher thing.
Yeah, that's what we talked about last week, right? He's a catcher. Right. The value, like, will it keep up the value over time? And there's 3 of them versus 2. So in this case, if they're really close anyways on the top prospect list, then I'm gonna go for the more rare. The 2 of 1 instead of 3 of 1. All right. Okay, a couple more. We just talked about the Halloween parallel in 2023 Topps update. Would you rather have a Halloween parallel or a Topps Chrome negative parallel?
Negative as in like negative numbered?
No, sorry, not the frozen
the
fracture.
SP, right?
It's like a negative camera photo.
OG
You know what I mean?
negative.
So a Halloween parallel
Yeah.
in Topps update blasters or anything. Like a rookie, like at Gunner or whatever.
Just in general, just the parallel or a
I
Topps
hate
Chrome
both of
negative
them.
parallel. You can't see the face of the negative parallels because they're it's all black.
You know you pulled something different.
Yeah.
Like, this looks different. That's the first thing everybody, is it numbered? No, it's not numbered. I can't do the Halloween parallel, sorry. I'm out on that. So therefore, I'm in with the negative parallel. I'd rather have a Gunner negative from flagship than a Topps Chrome update Halloween parallel, a trick or treat parallel, or whatever it is.
All right, John.
Man, I'm gonna say Halloween. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Me
Because
too.
the negative is SP. It's rare. But there's not that much. Like, people aren't excited about it. It generally doesn't trade for, sell for as much as it should. Similar to vintage stock. So it's a little boring. Even as a collector, like staring at the card, it doesn't seem all that special, other than knowing the fact that there's not many printed. So for me, give me the Halloween, the pop of color, a little bit more creative. It is tacky and a little bit cheesy. You can admit that. But like I said, maybe the Halloween, there's an outside chance this is sort of like a one-time thing, right? Because it just kind of, the delay in release happens to fall near Halloween. So if it isn't a one-time thing, it could end up being a bit of a collector set. So give me the Halloween.
Okay, I'll break the tie. I'm gonna go with Halloween as well. Just like what I said before, people love Halloween a lot. So I feel like this could be easier to sell, easier to flip, because I would be flipping both of these anyways if I ever pulled one out. So Halloween it is. Okay, last one. Would you rather attend 4 smaller card shows or 1 big card show in the year?
Me personally, I'd rather one big one, to be honest. I just think card shows, it's a grind, man. And I know part of the journey for me was the search. It's always this, that's the journey. That's the fun part. So, I've kind of, like, I guess, left the scene of being there at every single card show. Because it's tough. It's a lot of work. You come up with nothing sometimes. You're better off finding deals, online, to be honest. And I don't mind the chase online too. I do like the bigger shows just in general. I think there's a lot of hype around it and a lot more people bring out the big dogs as well. So something like the Nationals or the Sports Card Expos is probably something that I would only attend. So yeah, I'm gonna go just one. 4's too many. Yeah, way too many. 3 too many.
There's certainly arguments to both. That the small ones are, you have better opportunity to chat with people, connect, have a little bit of camaraderie, do some trades. So I can understand there's arguments to both. For me, I do still pick. The reality for me, especially, is it's easier for me to get out 1 or 2 shows a year. So give me the big one. I think there's a lot more excitement to it. They're both a grind, but I think the big one, even for most people's mindset going into the big one, like you get excited. Like I'll admit, like the small ones, I think you're there to serve. You're there to put in work. So if people are looking to complete sets, find obscure things, like just going and hoping to hit a home run, I think there's certain huge value in it and getting like some really good deals. But I think the bigger shows, there's just a level of excitement, like for the Americans, like going to the National, like it's There's hype around it. All the big companies are going to be there. And then you kind of have, maybe you get ripped off, but you kind of walk in with like a when in Rome mentality, right? Like you've been so hyped up for it that you don't want to walk out with nothing. So you end up doing a stupid deal that doesn't make sense, but whatever. Like in the moment, you had fun and you were able to kind of take advantage of that excitement. So I think give me the big one for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a big show, one big show sweep. From personal experience, I usually come out with something after the big shows, and maybe it's for the reason you just stated, John. I just want to get a deal done. I don't want to have wasted my time. But and with the smaller ones, less inventory usually, and I guess it depends what you're looking for. For us, we talked about in past card shows. If you're looking for baseball in Canada, it's hard to find even at the smaller shows. You're more likely to find it at the bigger shows. But like to your point, I can see the value in going to smaller ones. Like I see on Instagram all the time, people go to the smaller shows. It looks like they have a good time connecting with people, making trades. I think it's probably, if you're more in the trade mindset, the smaller shows are better for you anyways, because there's more opportunity to meet people and make those trades happen. So but I guess for us, we're just more comfortable and like the energy of the bigger card shows. So there you go. That's our Would You Rather segment for this episode. We'll try to do it again in a future episode. All right, let's end off this show with our regular weekly segment we call Pick One. And this is where each of us choose 2 cards and then we debate which one we would rather invest in. So Hyung, do you want to start things off for us?
All right, I'm gonna kind of go back to last episode and see where you guys are at. I think I know who would invest in who. If on the hype, you got Victor Wembanyama and Connor Bedard. If I'm investing in one prospect this year, and I'm gonna go chasing after whatever card, right? Who are you investing in? Forget about pricing right now. Like, obviously, they're both hyped up right now because of particular release. So you expect that with Connor Bedard, especially if he has a decent season. If he's scoring like a point per game or more, I think that's going to give you a gauge of like, hey, this guy might be the next McDavid, right? So, who are you guys investing in?
Bit of a Canadian specific answer, but I'm going Bedard. And it's because I think liquidity, if I'm going to invest and if it's going to be a quick flip or a long term, I think it's just so much easier for the 3 of us to make deals here in Canada and Toronto Card Expo coming up. I think it's an easy place to peddle a Bedard card that you pulled out of a pack or something. So, give me Bedard. And I mean, I think I'm just more bullish a bit on Bedard tipping the scales of becoming a generational player. Like I said, I'm not quite there yet and quite convinced, but I think in terms of the 2, which one could become generational? I think Connor Bedard is way more likely than Wemby at this point. So maybe I'm completely undervaluing Wemby or disrespecting him, but give me Bedard.
Interesting. Yeah, Wemby all the way. I'm all in on the Wemby train. Yeah. And I think I feel like you mentioned this, John, in a previous episode. So I feel like you're kind of not doing a 180, but you're changing your tune a little bit with Bedard. Didn't you say he's like a smaller kid?
That was my one concern. That's what I don't put him at generational because there's a little bit of concern of his size.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I don't like him.
Okay. You hate his guts because he's small. I mean, I've seen the highlight reels, and I'm excited about Bedard, but just maybe there is a lot more hype on Wemby, right? Because the things I hear from the analysts and just his frame, he's a freak of nature and how he's able to move at that height, I don't know. It's again, maybe the algorithm's really feeding me all the highlight reels, and I'm tainted in terms of what I think of Wemby. But I think he could be a generational talent. So I'm similar to what I said on that Friday episode, I'm sticking with Wemby.
Nice. For me, I'm going Bedard because I think there's a good opportunity for ripping Series 2. Because if you think about release, I would say Young Guns Raw will probably go anywhere from $400 to $600 Raw. So I know that's going to be hot off the gate, right? So it's going to be overpriced in general. But I think, PSA 10s would be valued pretty high at that point. But I think there might be opportunity still based on kind of like where the young guns of like Mitch Marner and, McDavid and, Austin Matthews, you see kind of like those three levels of potential, of holy crap. If it's McDavid-esque at peak, young guns were going for like $4,000 or $5,000. I think it was 4,000 US maybe, or it could be Canadian, but I remember it was pretty high. So I think there might be opportunity, especially if you're ripping and, you land, just the young guns in general. I think, compared to like Wemby's prices, it's like you got to buy singles. And at that point, like I don't really like Wemby's cards, but they're super overpriced. I'm not sold completely on the Bowman Chrome U, to be honest. Something about basketball.
Me neither.
It's not the same as the baseball, brand of Bowman First. So I got to see. I'm not fully sold on Wemby's cards. I think that's why. So I think there's, and then on top of that, I mentioned on the previous episode that, ESPN's pushing a lot more hockey now. I think there's going to be a marketplace. I think if you ask any American that's not into hockey, I think they're kind of drawn into this guy, Connor Bedard. They don't know who he is, but they're interested, especially with a lot of guys.
It's a big chase. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if guys going from baseball and now it's a complimentary season instead of the typical football or basketball. They have options now to chase like kind of like a generational talent. So for me, I think there's just a lot more opportunity on the Bedard side of kind of like just the way things are set up and based on cards that I don't necessarily like of Wemby's. Like I've yet to have a card that I'm like, I would like this card. This is a sick card. Obviously, just based on value, like the Bowman Chrome U is kind of like the card to get. But I mean, it's pretty rare at a very premium price. And then it's like, are you going to pay thousands for a Bowman, Bowman's best, pre-Spurs uniform, right? And then
yeah, that's a big one without the licensing.
Yeah, and then it's like how are cards going to look with Wemby's autos now moving forward? Because like I said, National Treasures won't have a Wemby auto. Right. So for me, it's like, okay. And I think Ken Golden said he thinks the non-auto logo man of Wemby will still sell for just shy of $1 million. So you would imagine how massive that card would have been if they had like the logo man auto. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
Do we know why there's no, do we know why there's no autos?
Yeah, it was
National Treasures.
It was, I got to pull it up, but I was reading a Twitter post regarding that, and they're saying this card will never exist, but it's kind of like the card that everybody wants. And then it lists details and explained why, but I think that's a big miss
But he'll have a flawless auto?
I'm not sure about the flawless.
Or is it going to be like across the board?
But that's why that if it is flawless, then that flawless auto becomes massive.
Becomes the grail, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good points though. Like I almost forgot about the whole Panini losing their license.
Yeah, so you don't know how it's going to look, right?
Right. Yeah, well, still I'm sticking with Wemby still. Almost got me to change my mind like I usually do. So, but yeah, good one though. I like it.
Yeah.
John, you want to go next?
Yeah. So I'm going to compare draft classes. Which draft class would you invest in for NBA? And these two draft classes are kind of, obviously one is exiting, but they're both kind of exiting that hype stage. So we're going to go 2019 NBA draft class. Notable names: Zion, Ja. Let's see, top 5. Zion, Ja, not in any particular order. Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, and Jordan Poole. So let's call that a top 5. Some might argue against Tyler Hero. Against the 2020 NBA draft class, Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, who do we have? Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Maxey, and Desmond Bane.
Ooh.
So which draft class would you invest in the 2019 that are kind of exiting the hype phase, right? Obviously, the LaMelo Ant is still kind of in it, but we're getting to that stage where these players now need to sort of start to prove winning culture and stuff like that, right?
Wow, that's a tough one. Oh man, I'll go first. I love Anthony Edwards as a play this year, and who else was in that class? You said Edwards,
LaMelo, Halliburton, LaMelo, Desmond Bane, Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not high. Like I just put out one of those price action videos of LaMelo Ball, and he's definitely taken a tumble. And I'm not sure he's going to rebound that much. He's got to be healthy. I guess you could say the same thing with Zion and of course Ja missing 25 games. But I think the strength of Zion and Ja Morant, them two alone, would be the reason why I'm still sticking with, the upside is huge still for me. The risk is huge as well, but I think if I'm going to just go by upside, Zion, Ja that year, those two guys, I'm still willing to take the risk on them. And, I think I just saw a recent tweet by Ja Morant, of course, him missing games, the rankings for Ja Morant, he's in the 30s now. And then he's he's almost taking it as disrespect, and I feel like he's got something to prove when he comes back. So I'm bullish on Ja this year when he comes back. And Zion, it's a coin flip, but I'm willing to take that risk because the upside's pretty big out of all those players that you just mentioned.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with 2019 as well. I think, one, for a couple of reasons. I love 2019 Prism. Something about that year Prism that I actually like the design. I don't know if that's mutual with a lot of people, but I always thought 2019 was a great design of Prism compared to previous years. And especially coming up in that hype, just trying to pull Zion and Ja, and knowing what those cards used to go for, and guys, and then you mix in guys like Jordan Poole, Tyler Hero, even guys like RJ Barrett. It was a pretty strong class at the end of the day, right? So I think you have a lot more of those second tier players. Obviously, Anthony Edwards is Anthony Edwards, but I think there's a lot more hype and a lot more depth in the 2019 class compared to, is it 2021? Or was it 20? What class was the
2020? Anthony Edwards?
2020.
Right.
Sorry, yeah. So yeah, I just think there's a lot more opportunity in 2019 with the players listed. I think there's a lot of sleepers in 2019 still that have opportunity to grow into superstars as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go 2019 for two reasons. For those two reasons, is I just like the design a lot better too.
Good point. It's going to be a sweep. I'm also picking 2019. I had to think about this one, to be honest. I think Anthony Edwards is big on people's list. I think LaMelo Ball, just being injured so much, if he puts up a good, an uninjured season, stays healthy, you never know, man. This guy,
good bounce back.
He could do some special things, yeah. But the 2019, you have the potential bounce back of Zion and Ja. And the other top 5 that I mentioned, like Darius Garland, who else was there? Tyler Hero, Jordan Poole. They're kind of they might be in specific situations that could cause a bit of a bump, right? Like Tyler Hero, he knew his name was all over trade talk. And I think he probably has a bit of a chip on his shoulder. Jordan Poole just went to Washington. He's probably going to, may not have great efficiency, but he could be dropping 35 a night.
Right.
And then Darius Garland, I think Cleveland's going to be really good. They could contend for the number 1 spot in the regular season, right? So the one thing I will say though, I read up this article on TSN about the history behind Ja's downfall, and that maybe it was spun in a way to make you nervous in general, or maybe to make you think of differently of Ja, but they articled all of the facts of what happened to Ja, and it's actually kind of scary. Like, I don't trust anymore, that Ja totally gets it still. Like, because, I mean, I'll try to do a quick synopsis, but like, it basically talks about how like Ja, when he was at Murray State or whatever, growing up as a kid, he grew up in a nice family. He didn't grow up in the hood. He was like this humble kid, super teachable, gym rat. All he thought about was basketball. And then when he got to the NBA, he started to kind of hang around with the wrong crowd. I heard that he started getting a bit cocky. He was a little bit tougher to teach him. Like, even when he started to do bad things off the court, like I heard there's some murmurs about, the upper brass trying to have a talk with him, and he wasn't super receptive, and he got into a fight at a mall with his mom, and then he got into another fight with a kid, almost got arrested, and he's toting like he's toting guns, and there's just so many very, peculiar or like stupid, like his behavior was very questionable. And even when he said he's gonna rehab and he's gonna do better for himself, he just continued to do it, right? So I don't know. I don't fully trust that Ja is going to bounce back. I could see another mistake in him. Like, it's quite possible. So Ja makes me a bit nervous, to be honest, but I'm still picking 2019, but yeah, I had to say that Ja does make me nervous.
There's your typical John answer. Yeah. I mean, Ja makes me nervous too, but high risk, high reward, right? So he's the definition of that for sure. All right, good one. Last one for me. I'm going to go to baseball. I'm going to choose Corbin Carroll, who I just found out was half Asian. I don't know if the rest of the world knew this.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, half Taiwanese, his mom.
No way.
There you go. And
so search Corbin Carroll tonight.
Yeah, I got to get a card of his. But his 2019 Bowman Chrome, his first Bowman, green refractor auto, numbered to 99, PSA 10. I think sold for about $1,500 recently. Okay. Or his radiating rookie autograph card from this year's Topps Chrome, numbered to 23. And I don't know if you saw the radiating rookies subset, but I could show you a picture of it.
It's nice.
Quick.
Is it? Yeah, it's nice looking.
Is it
card.
like a case it?
But it's a cosmic, right? Product.
Sorry, it is yeah, it's a cosmic. Yes.
Oh, it's cosmic. Oh boy.
No, it says Topps Chrome.
Oh, it's okay. It's not the cosmic one. I think the one of one might be cosmic.
It could be Topps Chrome Cosmic. Anyway, yeah, it's...
Wait, so Bowman first, green, auto.
Yeah, PSA 10.
Ooh.
Yeah. Or the 2023 Topps Chrome Radiating Rookies auto.
Yeah, it is from Topps Chrome Cosmic. So yeah, for me, I'm going Bowman Chrome for sure. I think I don't mind greens. Everybody hates green parallels like it's garbage. Greens are nice, man. They're so underrated, I think, in general, especially Bowman Chrome autos. People undervalue it so much because they don't like green, but it's numbered to 99. I think it looks great. I have an Aaron Judge just one in my PC. It's just a green refractor numbered to 99. That's why I have it. It's 99 of 99, but to me, I think it's such a beautiful card. I was like, why wouldn't anybody like this green parallel card, right? So I do like this radiating, the number to 23. It's scarce, on card auto.
It looks like Topps flagship. I can't believe that comes out of Cosmic. That's really strange.
For me, I just think the Bowman Chrome is the card to get for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Clark, you almost had me for a sec. I mean, the card looks beautiful. But number one, it's cosmic. Number two, it's an insert auto. And we all know what happens to insert autos in the future. So the safety lies in Bowman first. Auto, I don't care if it's a green. Not my favorite, but it's an easy one.
Okay. I was seeing if I could catch you with like a beautiful insert versus, your typical Bowman Chrome rookie autos, boring, But and I chose green to boot, and I couldn't get. Hyung was.
It is a regular Chrome. The one of ones were Chrome Cosmics, but those come out of Topps Chrome. Yeah,
that's even weird that the 1-of-1 would be in.
Right.
Anyways, okay.
The 1-of-1 looks similar.
So this is a Topps Chrome product.
Yeah, Topps Chrome
flagship.
Product,
Okay,
yeah,
which makes sense. It looks like a flagship card.
Yeah.
Does that change anything for you? Or
no, it doesn't change anything.
Ooh. Yeah, insert auto. I don't know.
Number 23, man. Look at that.
It is a little bit of a manufactured rarity, but what the heck is Radiating Rookies?
I know Clark is just trying to sell it because his principal standard is that it's like Bowman Chrome,
Yeah, we know what's coming.
Yeah, this is an amazing card. Like it's like I see it all the time in terms of like people want I posted a Radiating Rookie on my Instagram, 5 Card Guys Instagram. Tons of likes, tons, more than usual.
It's a beautiful card. That's why
people love it.
Yeah, such a great card.
Usually inserts are meh, but this one it's almost unanimous. People love this insert card. I'm going with Bowman Chrome. So gotta stick with the Bowman Chrome. But you know what? I'm beginning to appreciate insert cards more. Like nicely done, good art. Good layout, insert cards more.
Can you go to the back of the card, the image?
Hey man, if insert cards consistently have autos on them, I don't mind inserts at all.
Yeah, exactly.
If you keep inserts to autos and case hits, and we don't need any of those freshman flashbacks that you get like one in every pack, I'm down with inserts.
But it's the worst when, let's just say you're on a Bowman Chrome chase and you have 3 autos in your box and one's an insert auto, you're punching the air.
Oh, that's true.
I punch the air a lot on that. Like, what? One of the autos is insert auto? No.
Yeah. That's why they got to make these insert autos like the Radiating Rookies. Like, I wouldn't mind if I got that.
Hey, I will say true story, and you guys are a witness to this. I was opening up 2019 Bowman Draft. Crazy. I opened up a super jumbo. I think I paid like $900 at the time, which is super expensive. $900 Canadian.
Wow.
But I ended up pulling a Wander Franco orange insert auto out of 25.
Right.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Very uncentered. I sent it to PSA. I got a PSA 10 as usual. And I sold that thing for like $6,500 or $5,500. I think it was
I remember, that was like
crazy.
Killer sale.
That's an insert auto right there. Just saying. So I can't hate on insert autos.
See? That's what I'm saying too. So, but it's still a Bowman Chrome sweep for today. One of these, there's gonna be an insert auto where I'm gonna bring it back as a pick one, and then I'm waiting for that day. One of us chooses it, but it's not today. All right. Thanks again for all our listeners and subscribers for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoy our podcast and you haven't left a review, we would appreciate that as well. And we'll have a brand new episode for you next week. See you then. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5 Card Guys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.